Hello students, today we are going to understand about crystal oscillators. Crystal oscillators, as the name suggests, they are oscillators which are made up of crystals in the sense that the tank circuit of the oscillator, which is the heart of an oscillator, is constructed using a crystal. So, as we have seen in the case of a tuned collector oscillator, or in the case of a Colpitts or a Hartley oscillator, where a tank circuit were constructed using LC combination. Instead of that, here a crystal takes the role of a tank circuit. And the most common crystal which are used as crystal oscillators, and they are quartz crystals. They are quartz crystals, and similarly Rochelle salt, tourmaline crystals, they also can be used, but then these are highly costly. But quartz crystal is an inexpensive crystal which can be used as an oscillator. But then we have to think why these crystals are used and what is the peculiar feature of such crystals. And we can say that there is a peculiar behavior for these crystals, that is its piezoelectric effect. So we have to understand what is piezoelectric effect, or what are called as piezoelectric crystals. These are crystals, or these are materials. When you apply an AC voltage on this material, it will vibrate. Or when you apply an AC voltage, or when you apply a voltage, it will produce vibrations. You can say that it produces mechanical vibrations. So when you apply a voltage, if it can produce vibrations, obviously these vibrations are the oscillations which we expect, or which we are actually expecting from an oscillator, or these vibrations are the output of an oscillator. So we can say that when you apply certain voltage to the piezoelectric crystal, it produces vibrations, and these vibrations are actually the oscillations produced by the crystal oscillator. And so this piezoelectric crystals are put in the tank circuit part, or they actually make up the tank circuit part of an oscillator, so that this produces oscillations, and these oscillations are the output of a crystal oscillator. Okay, so this is the peculiar feature of piezoelectric crystals. And these crystals which I talked about before, these are all piezoelectric crystals, and among that, quartz is most commonly used crystal. And because one thing is it's highly inexpensive crystal compared to the other one, but then when you construct a crystal oscillator using these crystals, one thing is you can produce very stable oscillations, or the frequency is highly stable in a crystal oscillator. And the Q factor, which you will understand later, which actually shows one of the performance of an oscillator, and that is highly this value is highly larger when compared to any other oscillator which you learned before. So in that way, we can say that the crystal oscillators are those which are having very high frequency stability. So we can say that frequency produced is highly stable for frequency stability, and the accuracy is also very high. The frequency signal, the accuracy of the signal produced is more higher here. Now, when you use, these are mostly used in digital watches and digital clocks to produce basically signals or pulses. Okay, so for producing signals, or for producing time pulses and clock pulses, actually these oscillators are used, and they are also used for communication purposes. And now we'll see how an oscillator, crystal oscillator, is actually made of. You know that crystals, when you say that crystals have a particular structure, right? So crystals as such, they have cleavages and particular structure. So they are actually cut into rectangular, or they are cut into slabs of crystals. So quartz crystal is something which can be easily cut and made into rectangular slabs. So I can say that it's something like a slab which has a slight thickness. So you can cut the crystal or quartz or any such crystals, and especially quartz is more used, and this quartz crystal can be cut in rectangular slabs, and this is actually kept between two metal electrodes. They are usually kept between two electrodes, as in the case of a capacitor. So this quartz crystal is placed between two metal electrodes, and depending upon the thickness and the dimensions of the crystal, basically, or the area and the thickness of the crystal, the frequency is produced. Frequency produced by the crystal varies. So that depends upon basically the nature of the crystal. Once it is cut, it is very difficult to change the frequency with which it is basically resonating, or we can say how the frequency at which it produces oscillations. That you will understand later when we discuss more. And now we shall see how a crystal oscillator is basically, or now you can say how a crystal oscillator is working, or what is actually its constituent elements. Or when you say a crystal, what are the basic electronic elements which you have to keep in mind, or what are the basic electronic components or electronic characteristics or electronic feature of a crystal. Okay, this is the symbol of a crystal oscillator, or you can say not crystal oscillator, is a crystal, where you have see that the rectangular slab is kept, and you have the two metal electrodes, which is actually sandwiching the crystal. Okay, so the crystal is placed between these two metal electrodes. And now when a crystal oscillate, basically there are various things, because it has a mass, so there is an inertia, so there is a friction, or the crystal contains stiffness. So basically a crystal has certain features. It has a resistive feature, okay, and it has an inductance feature or inductive property inherent with that, basically associated with the mass of the crystal, because the crystal is oscillating. And it can be also associated with it is actually a rectangular piece having a thickness, so it is having a capacitive part also. So an oscillating crystal can be thought of as equivalent to series resistance, inductance and capacitance parallel to a capacitor C2. And this C2 capacitance is actually because of the metallized electrodes which is kept between, which acts as the capacitor. So when you say a crystal, when you consider a crystal actually consists of a crystal which is, and along with that the two metal electrodes which is actually sandwiching the crystal. So as a whole, I can say when the crystal oscillates, the whole thing becomes equivalent to an RLC series circuit parallel to a C2 capacitance, parallel to another capacitance, which is named here as C2. Okay, so a crystal can be, an oscillating crystal can be considered to be equivalent to an RLC series combination in parallel to another capacitor. So the whole thing represents the equivalent circuit of a crystal which is oscillating. Okay, so this is the part which you have to keep in mind. Then only we can understand the rest of the things. One more thing I just forgot to tell you, that a crystal, when you pack that, you have an electrodes, and in between a crystal is kept between, and this is actually packed in some form, and whatever you see in labs or in commercially when available is basically of this form. That will be, it is already packed in a particular form, and you won't see the whatever is happening within that. So this is available in this particular in this forms in the commercially in markets. Okay, so just I was telling that when I thought about it. So these are this is all about the equivalent circuit of a crystal. Okay, now we have to understand that how a crystal resonates. A resonance basically means, okay, that when a crystal is at resonance, when we say, or it is the resonant frequency when we say, it means that the crystal is oscillating to the maximum. That means the amplitude of the oscillations produced by the crystal is maximum. So a crystal like this have basically two types of resonant frequencies, two resonant frequencies, and we call one as the series resonant frequency, which we normally denote as Fs, and the other one is actually the parallel resonant frequency. So there are two resonant frequencies which we say, which means that there are two frequencies at which the amplitude of oscillation is maximum. And you have already studied during the resonance, it is the natural oscillating frequency of the crystal, right? That is, at that frequency the crystal vibrates in maximum amplitude, or we can say the vibrations are maximum, which is denoted by Fp. Okay, and now what do you mean by series resonant frequency? That is when the reactance of the L and the reactance of the C1, that is when the reactance of XL, or we can say reactance of the inductor or inductance coil, that is XL, becomes equal to the reactance of this capacitor C1. At that time, we can say that there occurs a resonant frequency, that is, it is the frequency at which the oscillator vibrates maximum. So that is, in this particular equivalent circuit, you can say you have here L and C1 and R, right? So whenever in this equivalent circuit, the L and the C1 value, or the impedance of these two values, when they become equal, that is the particular situation of resonance. And you can say that whenever these two are equal, there occurs resonance, and we call that as the series resonance, because these L and C are in resonance. We can say at that time L and C1, they come in resonance, and they are kept series, right? So we can say this is a series resonance. So at that time, when XL and XC1 becomes equal, there occurs a resonance, and resonance means that the amplitude of the oscillations are maximum during that particular frequency, and that frequency can be given as 1 by 2 pi square root of L into C1. So that depends upon the value of the capacitance C1. Okay, so this is the series resonant frequency. This is one resonant frequency. So there is one more resonant frequency for an crystal oscillator, and that is parallel resonant frequency, and that is a frequency which is very normally very near to the Fs, and that you can understand how it becomes nearer. Now another thing we'll have to understand, when is the parallel resonance occurs. Okay, so parallel resonance occurs when the impedance of this equivalent circuit of this much, okay, or the reactance, when the whole part's reactance, when that become equal to the reactance of this C2, then you can say that parallel resonance occurs, or you can say that during this time the frequency with which the crystal oscillator oscillates will be a resonant frequency, and that frequency can be called as Fp. And you can understand here why do we call it as a parallel resonant frequency, because here the impedance of this circuit becomes equal to the impedance of this parallel C2 element. Okay, so that means the impedance of this part, the left part, becomes equal to the impedance of the C2. So that means it is, or we can say that the two parallelly connected things have come into resonance. or that is why we call it as parallel resonant frequency. Okay, so during that time we can say that the oscillations parallel resonant frequency, the oscillation Fp can be written as equal to 1 by 2 pi square root of Lc, where here, or you can say this is the equivalent circuit, equivalent capacitance, and this equivalent capacitance can be written as C equivalent here can be equal to C1 and C2 divided by C1 plus C2. Okay, so that you can see here. So this is the C1 plus C2. Now we can see that normally when you design it, the C2 value is kept very much greater than C1. So when the C2 is greater than C1, what happens is, if considerably greater, then I can say this denominator, it becomes C equivalent circuit, how it becomes C1 into C2, you cannot neglect. But then if C1 is small compared to C2, you can neglect the addition to the C2. Or when you add C1 plus C2, it is almost equal to C2, I can say, if the C2 is very much greater. So this becomes C2, then C2, C2 cancel, then you will get C1. So that means because of the design, if you keep the capacitance C2 value greater than C1, you can almost consider this C equivalent value as C1. So that means you can replace the C equivalent with C1. Then you can say that Fp and Fs are the same, right? So that means that in most of the cases in practical circuits, the series resonant frequency and the parallel resonance frequency then is kept almost same. Okay, so this is about the two resonant frequencies at which a crystal oscillator works. And these are basically the major part of a crystal oscillator is have already been discussed. So what we all totally said was, there are certain piezoelectric crystals like quartz or other crystals which can be used as tank circuit of an oscillator, and these crystals, because of its piezoelectric effect, it can produce oscillations in an oscillator. And is such oscillators which where the tank circuit is constructed of a crystal, they are very good oscillators which has a very high quality factor, or which has very good frequency stability, and accuracy of an oscillator is also very high. And now we later told that a crystal oscillator which is vibrating, or a vibrating crystal, can be considered as made up of an RLC series circuit in parallel to another capacitance. Okay, and this equivalent circuit. So when you think about the resonance or the frequency with which a crystal oscillator works, you have to consider or keep in mind the equivalent circuit of a oscillator. Then we said that such a crystal oscillator has two resonance frequency. One is series resonant frequency and parallel resonant frequency. And series resonant frequency means that whenever the impedance of the inductance and the capacitor, which are in series with each other, of the equivalent circuit, when these impedance matches, or when the impedance of the inductor and the capacitor in the equivalent circuit and becomes equal, we can say that both of them, which are connected in series, come into resonance. And at that time, the crystal oscillator produces an oscillation which is called a series resonant frequency, which is equal to 1 by 2 pi root of LC1. And then we said that there is another resonant frequency which is very closer to series resonant frequency. So that occurs when the impedance of the two parallel setups, the two parallel combinations in the equivalent circuit, that is impedance of RLC combination and when the impedance of the C2, they matches, or when they become equal, we say that both of them come into resonance. Both of them which are parallelly connected come into resonance, and then at that time the oscillation produced by the crystal oscillator, they are called as the parallel resonance frequency oscillations, and that or oscillation frequency is called as Fp. and that is equal to 1 by 2 pi root of LC equivalent, and equivalent capacitance is C1 C2 divided by C1 plus C2. And you have to understand that mostly practically this C equivalent value is almost equal to C1. So that means series and parallel resonant frequencies are almost same to each other. So this is about the general idea or the conceptual idea about a crystal oscillator. So thank you for your patient listening.